woman's heart is full of hate. He butters, cries, and a dark shadow falls over this troll. From the ashes of a once great fandom has risen a meme, an LOL that must be liked. We look to the airwaves for a vindicator, someone to strike fear in the dark basement of the parents who created him. The battle between fan and smart has begun. With a head on his shoulders stands the smart fan, a speaker of truths, with a voice of silence, and a radio show of justice. This is Ring Rust.
Whoa, we're smoking mirrors. That was really bad. This is Fatbo Mark Cerrone. You're listening to Ring Rust on 315 CHMR-FM. Well, just because it was really bad doesn't mean I'm not going to do it. But until then, let's go on over to the preview for Payback, which is this Sunday, from the Royal Farms Arena in Baltimore, Maryland. Again, I'm taking it in Wikipedia order, which means the first match and then drop right down to the bottom and go up, which is basically how it ends up being formatted, I guess. So, not really complaining. It seems to work out, so I'm not actually complaining. I'm just sort of like, it'd be better if it actually gave the proper order, or at least made it look like it was the proper order. Something. Anyway. And it starts with the pre-show, which is the tag team match, which sees the Meta Powers, Macho Mandow, and Axelmania versus the Ascension of Connor and Victor. So this has potential to be extremely entertaining in what some people might consider all the wrong ways, but in way I consider to be all the right ways. Because I love Damien Sandow, and I love what Curtis Axel's been doing with his Axelmania thing since it started. It's like, Axelmania, what's this? What, he's just going to talk about this for a few weeks? Because this was like 3 or 4 months before WrestleMania. This was even before Royal Rumble, I think, when he said, I'm still into Royal Rumble. Like, technically, he's still into Royal Rumble right now. And, like, heading towards 6 months later, he's still into Royal Rumble match. He never officially got into the ring, so he wasn't officially eliminated. So as far as he's concerned, he's still... And he hasn't talked about it since. He's been he's just been talking about Axelmania. So I'm still trying to keep the hashtag Axelmania going, but of course I'm also trying to keep the Awesome Possum hashtag going as well from Lego Movie. So, oh well. Shows what I know, I suppose. So I can see this newly formed, mainly for comedy team at least getting this one win, especially since it's on the pre-show. It's really not much of a match. I don't even know if they're going to be a tag team after this match. I don't know if they're going to dress full tilt, if Curtis Axel's going to come out in feather boas with a bandana on, and if Damien Sandow's going to come out in the great big flowing robe and possibly have Renee Young dress as Miss Elizabeth, which would be quite amazing. So next up, the actual first proper match, I guess, depending on what your definition of proper is for the match I'm about to talk about. A lot of people don't have a very high tolerance, maybe would be the right word, for Divas matches. And this is a Divas tag match. So maybe it'll be better, maybe it'll be worse, depending on, your opinion of, again, Divas matches. You might not think there's much positive to be derived from a Divas match whatsoever. Any match that has Divas. You might say, okay, well, maybe this time they'll give us a good Divas match. Or you might love every single Divas match because you like seeing beautiful women rolling around on the mat. And I was talking about something, wasn't I? Anyway, the Bella Twins, Brie Bella and Nikki Bella, once again not defending her Divas championship for some reason on pay-per-view. If they're doing it on major pay-per-views, like one of the big four, I can see if that's why. But, have Nikki come out and say, I'm only going to defend this title on the big pay-per-views. I'm only going to defend it at, what's the next one? SummerSlam? I'm only going to defend this title at the big pay-per-views. I'm going to defend this at SummerSlam against, and then I guess we're working up to Naomi. So, we have the tag team of Naomi and Tamina Snuka. So, because are all wrestling Samoans related, or is that racist? I probably should have said, is it racist if I say, and then have someone walk in and say yes? And it's like, okay then, I won't say it. Yeah, I don't have that happening in my daily life. A lot of people probably need that in their daily life. If you say, is it racist if I say, and then someone walks in and say yes? So, is it sexist if I say yes? Is it impolite if I, yes? Just don't open your mouth. Sit there and just eat some cookies or something. Anyway, so I said, I'd like coming up with tag team names, so I came up with Uso Mina, because Uso Crazy for the Uso brothers, and Naomi's married to one of the Usos, and Mina as in Tamina, and Mina, you're a Mina one. It's a bit of a stretch, but it's not too much of a stretch, probably. So it is literally a bit of a stretch, but I thought it was funny. This is Fanboy Mark Jabroni. You are listening to Ring Rust on 93.5 CHMR-FM. And then Vince Austin comes out and says, man, it's a great sounding song. Where'd you get that to? Before I get too much on that tangent, I think, I'll go back to the Payback preview for this coming Sunday on pay-per-view if you don't have the WWE Network, and on the WWE Network if you do have the WWE Network. Anyway, so next up, a match that doesn't seem to have a lot of history behind it, I don't think. They just said, you need someone to wrestle and you need someone to wrestle. I know, we'll have you wrestle each other. Now, ideally, that's how it should be. That's how it should be portrayed. You're a wrestler, and you're a wrestler, and you both wrestle, and you don't have anyone you currently are wrestling, so why don't you just wrestle each other? And then we'll see how it goes. Now, whether or not it goes anywhere, I don't know, but that's really between Bray Wyatt and Ryback. So next up, we have another tag team match. So hopefully they'll actually break them up a little bit, because there's how many tag team matches? 3? So yeah, they the pre-show, and then they got the Divas tag, and they got this one. And they got 8 matches announced. They put 2 matches between each one. I guess they're doing okay. Then, yeah. Well, then again, that would imply that one of the tag team matches will be the main event, and that's probably not going to happen. Oh yes, the Divas tag team match would be the main event of the pay-per-view. So anyway, a new day. Big E Langston and Kofi Kingston will be defending their tag team championships against one of the various names they have. What is it, like the Masters of the WWE Universe is one of the ones I like, but I don't think they'll use it because it's sort of iffy copyright, probably. I don't know. Hulk Hogan, what's that? What's that, Stan Lee? No, it's a totally different Hulk. We just took the word Hulk, which we also sometimes put incredible in front of, and it's totally unrelated to your Hulk. Totally unrelated. See? He doesn't turn green, he just turns sort of orange. Brother? Master of the WWE Universe, or something about a glass ceiling. I don't remember what the glass ceiling was. There was a something or other of the glass ceiling, or whatever name that they used to have. I don't know. So, well, I don't see the tag team titles changing hands just yet. Well, once again, they may be waiting for SummerSlam, or they might actually change it on the pay-per-view, or they might change it at the Raw after the pay-per-view, because they seem to think that the Raw after a pay-per-view was bigger than the pay-per-view / live event from WWE Network. So, Radio Shrug?
Ha ha ha! Cookies on dowels.
Next match we have coming up, Dolph Ziggler versus Sheamus in a singles match. Now, considering that the website for the Quicken Loan Center is advertising Sheamus as the new Intercontinental Champion, defending his title, since Daniel Bryan just relinquished his Intercontinental title on this week's Raw, and Sheamus is not currently, in fact, the Intercontinental Champion. Radio Shrug? It's entirely possible they're swerving us. It's entirely possible Vince Russo's in charge of advertising for WWE. And you never know. But I'm going to go on a limb and say that Sheamus is probably going to win this match. Like me on Facebook, tinyurl.com/
youtube.com/ringrust. Follow me on Twitter @MarkGibroni. And subscribe to Jarbronology TV. youtube.com/fanboymarkgibroni. Ringrust presents Macho Facts. Randy Savage invented black. In fact, he invented the entire visible spectrum of colors except pink. Tom Cruise invented pink. And Macho Man was the fourth wise man. He brought baby Jesus the gift of beard, which Jesus wore proudly to his dying day. The other wise men, jealous of Jesus' obvious gift favoritism, used their combined influence to have Randy omitted from the Bible. Shortly after, all three died of top rope elbow drop related deaths.
A selfie is one person, you idiot. John Cena will be defending the U.S. title against Rusev in an I Quit match. Now, considering neither man is really known for saying I quit, it's kind of a toss-up for this one. Although apparently Rusev has been losing matches on house shows. But that's house shows. That's not pay-per-view or TV or anything. And I guess they could pull the Bret Hart Steve Austin trick and have John Cena just pass out. He didn't technically quit. He didn't say I quit. He passed out from the pain. I suppose that could be how it would work. I do kind of, though, foresee John Cena retaining the title one way or the other in this match. Also, we have King Barrett taking on Neville. And apparently Barrett is very high on Neville behind the scenes. He's quite fond of his fellow countrymen. And likes his finisher, likes his look, likes pretty much everything about him. And, well, I wouldn't doubt, though, that Barrett's going to come out on top of this particular match, or at the very least, Neville's going to win, but by disqualification, maybe. This is Fanboy Mark Jabroni. You are listening to Ring Rust on 93.5 CHMR-FM. So I really only got the main event left. Main event match, fatal four-way for the World Heavyweight Championships. If Rollins fails to retain the championship, Kane will be fired from being Director of Operations. So, considering they've been talking about doing a Kane and or Big Show retirement over the past few weeks, it's entirely possible they'll find it's like, well, yeah, we said you're going to keep your job if Seth Rollins won, but we lied. LOL, you're fired. They're not going to actually say, well, Triple H might actually say LOL in a joking way, of course, because he likes making fun of fans and stuff. And anyway, but I still do see Seth Rollins retaining. It's going to be a matter of, like, one person knocks out another person and Seth Rollins crawls in and pins him, probably, is what's going to happen. I'm not going to dictate who's going to knock who out. Well, I suppose we can say, for the sake of it, we'll say Roman Reigns knocks out Randy Orton for the sake of it.
It's Mega Maid. She's gone from suck to blow. What? You know.
Jamaican me crazy, Kofi. Jamaican me crazy, Kofi. Jamaican me crazy, Kofi. Jamaican me crazy, Kofi.
This is Fabo Mark Jabroni. You are listening to Ring Rust on 93.5 CHMR-FM. So now, it's on to the NXT TakeOver Unstoppable preview, which is happening on May 20th. Bayley and Charlotte will be taking on Dana Brooke and Emma in a Divas tag team match. It's still called Divas. It's women's division because they got the women's title. I don't know if they're still called Divas. I don't know. I wasn't really paying that close attention. But it's Bayley and Emma, so thumbs up. And Baron Corbin will be taking on Rhino. So in other words, Baron Corbin is going to win because Rhino's there really just to... Basically anyone who's an older talent is there to help establish the other younger talent. So, Radio Shrug. Finn Balor, or Finn Balor, I never know how to pronounce his name properly, versus Hideo Itami versus Tyler Breeze in the triple threat to determine number one contendership for the NXT Championship. Now, unfortunately, Hideo's injured with his shoulder injury, so it might be a regular match. It might be that he's protected. They might, quote, knock him out, unquote, at the beginning of the match. I don't know. And Blake and Murphy will be defending their tag team championships against Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy. I can see them successfully retaining their title, but, you know, it's going to be probably a hard match, because the last thing Enzo Amore wants you to be is soft.
Like me on Facebook, tinyurl.com/ringrust. Follow me on Twitter @MarkGibroni, and subscribe to Jarbronology TV, youtube.com/fanboymarkgibroni.
And the last two matches we have here for the NXT Women's Championship. We'll see Sasha Banks defending against Becky Lynch. And this song I'll dedicate to what Sami Zayn will have to do if he wants to beat Kevin Owens for the NXT title. He's going to have to overcome his own shoulder injury. On 93.5 CHMR-FM, this is Gearbox.
That's it for another show, kiddies. Check me out on Facebook, where you can keep track of all the news that's right on the mark, from around ringside to the latest concerts. See you at the shows. Later days.
This is 93.5 CHMR-FM.